I think these 2 years since the ChatGPT, I think we are in a different age. Disruptive technology such as artificial intelligence is reshaping all the technology and industry, such as enhancing productivities for the academy. I think this is profound change the way we teach, and also for those doing research. For example, nowadays, how to interact with students, or it's really becoming challenge. Or you come up with questions like case discussion. Traditionally, we just throw the question to the students, but nowadays students can immediately check the answers to respond to them very efficiently. So the challenge for the teachers nowadays is how you interact students more creativity or through different tools.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of School to Startup, brought to you by Tracxn, a private market intelligence platform that's been supporting the global university ecosystem for over 12 years. Through our university partnerships, we work with institutions driving innovation and entrepreneurship, and this series highlights the academic leaders making that happen. I'm Harish, your host today. I'm delighted to be joined by Professor Bryan from National Taiwan University, Taiwan Associate. He's also an Associate Dean of International Affairs, Director of GMBA Program, and Distinguished Professor in the Department of International Business, College of Management. Professor Bryan, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for the invitation. My pleasure. It's very nice to share here.
Great. So I want to start right at the beginning. What first pulled you towards academia, international business, and eventually entrepreneurship as an area of focus?
Yes, that's a profound question. I think I start from academy because I think my background, my parents are all teachers. So from my childhood, I already witnessed how they interact with students, enjoy the classroom and for teaching. So I already have this ambition to be an academic, to be a teacher since my undergraduate. And after that, after my graduate school, I pursue a PhD in international business in UK, in Manchester Business School. And that time, I start from looking to the ideas. What should I look for? And then at that time, Taiwan, as you know, is a global player in the electronics industry, in the global supply chain. So I look into the topic on how digital transformation will affect Taiwanese electronics manufacturing, such as those contract manufacturing like Foxconn. How could they penetrate into global market through electronic integration, such as those electronic data interchange, global supply chain system, and make them to be a global partner. For example, strengthen the relationship between Foxconn and Apple. Those kind of topics become the central theme. So after that, my central research idea extend to be how digital technology, such as artificial intelligence, digital platform, extended from that disruptive technology, how could that affect firms, international competitiveness, such as international market entry, global supply chain management, etc.
Interesting. You've studied innovation, business models, and international performance, right? So let me ask you this. Are founders today too obsessed with disruption and not obsessed enough with actual building something customers will pay for?
Basically, so what you mean is nowadays how managers to accept those technology, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think we are now. I think these 2 years since the ChatGPT. I think we are in a different age. Disruptive technology such as artificial intelligence is reshaping all the technology and industry, such as enhancing productivities for the academy. I think this is a profound change the way we teach, and also for those doing research. For example, nowadays, how to interact with students, it's really becoming challenge. You come up with questions like case discussion. Traditionally, we just throw the question to the students, but nowadays students can immediately check the answers to respond to them very efficiently. So the challenge for the teachers nowadays is how you interact students more creativity through different tools, and even embedded AI into your teaching. And in addition to that, for the research students, nowadays they can do literature review, and also even come up with a more interesting research question through interaction with generative AI. And also for the friends, I think all the managers now, they are really obsessed really interested in how to enhance their productivities, such as, for example, Taiwanese companies. Nowadays, just as I mentioned, they are part of the global supply chain, right? So for example, TSMC, one of the most famous Taiwanese semiconductor companies. Nowadays, they are thinking how to enhance efficiency, such as enhance their coordination and co-production with their global clients, such as Apple, NVIDIA, through the advance of technologies, such as the enhanced forecast, enhanced quality controls, and enhance the co-production process with the advance of artificial intelligence.
Interesting. And talking about your university, NTU has built a very strong reputation in business and innovation, right? So how do you think a university can help students move from learning about entrepreneurship to actually trying it?
That's a very good question. NTU so far has been very successful in building up the entrepreneurial ecosystem. For our undergraduate, for example, I have been at the mid role for the director for entrepreneurship and creativity program for a couple of years. So we have about 15 years ago, we set up the entrepreneurship and creativity program. It's an interdisciplinary program. The principle and the issues for us to deal with how to develop the next generation of entrepreneurial. We develop a lot of different courses, such as design thinking, as you know, and also business model development, that kind of course. And all the candidates for the students is interdisciplinary. We recruit students, for example, from the engineering department, not only also business school, and even the English literature. That kind of department students to mix them together in the classroom through 2 semesters, 1 year program, and give them a lot of not only lectures, but also a lot of interaction with the real world entrepreneurial, successful entrepreneurial, such as a lot of digital platform builders and a lot of unicorn entrepreneurial come to the classroom to share their insight with the students. And at the end, they need to come up with idea to building up an entrepreneurial project. So thinking about how to face the challenge and also deal with the failure issue, and also how to teamwork with your co-founders. And this is a process, not only in undergraduate, as I just mentioned, we have this ecosystem in the undergraduate level and extended to the postgraduate level. For example, I'm in charge of the global MBA program. Our global MBA program also emphasizes on a lot of entrepreneurship program and courses. In our curriculum, we have courses such as business model, innovation, and also design thinking, entrepreneurial thinking. And also we even invite a lot of entrepreneurs come to the school, come to the classroom to talk to the students and have them to thinking about what are the process in the entrepreneurship building. For example, on how to pitch to the venture capitals and how to deal with the prototypes. All those kind of issues, not only in the undergraduate, extending to global MBA level, and also we have a postgraduate program called Entrepreneurship and Innovation Master Program. And also, this is also focusing on entrepreneurship development program. So this is a whole ecosystem in the NTU nowadays. Over the last 2 decades, we have trying to build up. Not only because, as you know, Taiwanese company traditionally they are big company like TSMC. We are now trying to engage students to building up their entrepreneurial mindset. Hopefully, in the next decades, we can come up with more unicorns, not only in the manufacturing, but also in the software sectors. That's our goal and ambitions. And to you, thank you.
Amazing. And when some student from GMBA says, I have a startup idea that will completely change the world, do you get excited or do you instantly start building a mental risk matrix?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I always like if they do have a student come to me, saying that he or she really have a big dream or have some good idea. For example, wanted to becomes next Elon Musk. That kind of ideas. I'm always excited. But the thing is, I always need to challenge them to think deeply. Are you really solve the pain points? What's the pain point? What's the gain and the pain? You really have the customer to create real value. And what's your value proposition? I think is the key, right? Because sometimes students are so naive. They come to me and come to the classroom and thinking they have fantastic ideas. However, sometimes they don't know. Somewhere in the world, there already some projects has been doing and it's been working on the same thing. Okay, so there's a lot of competition there. They don't know that. And also, because Taiwan market is so small, I always ask students to think about how can you apply this market? How can you apply this product and this service and this business model to the international market? This is just synchronize my research about how firms to go internationalize, and how company could build their business model, apply into different markets. For example, can this model really can be successful in Taiwan? Also, because Taiwan market is so small, how can you go international? For example, can it be successful in Japanese market? Can it be successful in Indian market, in Southeast Asia, which is a huge market now?
Right, interesting. And in entrepreneurship, what is more dangerous? A weak business model, overconfidence, or a founder who says, "Don't worry, we will figure it out later"?
Yeah, I think the key to be a successful to entrepreneurship, this is a profound questions. And I will not say there's a 100% questions or answers for this, right? Because there's so many different business models. And there's a success one, like as I just mentioned, Elon Musk one, the founder factor. People are talking about the founder characteristic, personality of the founder. That's the key. But there are something like that. For example, in Taiwan, we don't have the entrepreneurship, as you know, from the national culture perspective. Taiwanese culture are more humble. We are kind of more long-term orientation. We cannot generate so many kind of personality and students with so different and risk-taking personality. So I think for Taiwanese companies to be a successful entrepreneur, founder effect is there, but not as much as strong in American. I think that's a national culture difference. But in Taiwan, we have different personality. All the Taiwanese students, they are really hardworking and really insist and for doing things. And they have the kind of entrepreneurship, which is significantly different from the Western perspective. That's kind of hardworking and also insist on never fear to lose anything. That kind of personality is different. So they can come up with this idea with those kind of different spirit and entrepreneurial to be successful in the context of Taiwan. And then, as I just mentioned, they send them to international market because Taiwan market, as you know, we only have 23 million people, very small market. So we always need to think how to go global in their inception. So that's called born global ideas. It's very fit to Taiwanese context, Taiwanese entrepreneurial.
Interesting. Before we wrap up, what final advice would you leave with students and young founders who are preparing for a world that is becoming more global, more competitive, and constantly evolving?
Thank you. I think this is a really dynamic and uncertain world. Geopolitical issue, particularly in Taiwan, is so profound. And also, the artificial intelligence really, as I just mentioned, change and shaping the way we do business, the way we do research and teaching as a students. I think you really need to keep your curiosity, try to look for everything and for the new things and keep learning. Have that kind of spirit and have that kind of curiosity. I think it's the key to be successful, and never worry about the future, and always keep learning those new tools. They are evolving of all kind of new AI tools all the time. You just open your eyes or have the visions, keep learning and thinking about how I can contribute to the community and society and finding the new way to solve the challenging issues. And for the founders, I think this is a really good new world for you to be an entrepreneur, because traditionally there are a lot of hurdles and challenge to be entrepreneurial. You really need to start a business. You really need a lot of resource, right? Infrastructure and so on. But the coming age of AI really reduce those kind of hurdles. Artificial intelligence really offer a significant enabler for the success of international entrepreneurial. You can solve a lot of issue challenges. Just take advantage of that. And really with the risk taking and also capture the opportunity, really figure out what's the really pain point can be solved in this current business world, and extend to that, leverage artificial intelligence power. I think in the near future, you can be a very successful entrepreneur. This is a really good opportunity for all the new entrepreneurs.
Amazing. This was a wonderful conversation with you, Professor Bryan, from how universities can nurture founders to what startups often miss when thinking about global growth. This was full of thoughtful and practical insight. Thank you, Professor Bryan. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
And to all our viewers, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell button to stay updated on our future episodes. See you in the next one.